I think about Swirl, I think about the flavors coming together.
She's right. Both of you's got jungle fever.
Take my chocolate, you mix with her vanilla. It's a beautiful Sunday, and I just eat it right on up.
Oh, you guys would have such beautiful babies because they'd be mixed, and mixed kids are always beautiful.
I'm black, my baby's gonna be black, my man gonna be black, and we gonna have black lives.
It was about 2 a.m. and I saw this light, and I woke up and it was the policeman.
I'm the son of a black man from Kenya and a white woman from Kansas.
The media plays a part in everything that's projected in our world.
One of the hottest couples in Hollywood.
There's a lot of sexual differences between the races.
Oh, dear God.
My penis is huge.
No.
At least that's what I was saying.
I think black women have lost our culture a little bit.
I love my black woman. You hear me?
You can't call my vagina racist.
I like all races, Chinese, Vietnamese, Japanese.
I think you're about to upset some people.
Interracial babies are the most beautiful babies ever.
It's sort of a bizarre statement.
I just haven't had the opportunity to catch me a nice white girl yet. When I can, best believe I will.
There's nothing wrong with a little swirl.
What do you think about interracial relationships?
I think they're perfectly fine, like any other kind of relationship.
This is the first white guy I've dated hooking up with. So it's interesting. I mean, I feel like we connect on a level other than our race, which is cool. But we openly talk about it, which is also cool.
Doesn't matter what background you are really, doesn't matter. What really matters is the person that you are and how you're raised.
When I think about Swirl, I think about the flavors coming together, not just the colors, because the colors is the colors. But when the flavors come together, when you get that chocolate and that vanilla mix, and don't throw that strawberry, don't get Neapolitan on their ass, then you got a mix of flavors. And when the flavors mix, that's when it got some good taste to it. I pour that on my lady. Eat it.
When I used to go out with a white guy and we saw another white guy with an Asian girl couple, we'd sort of give each other the, hey.
Every time I see a black woman and a white man, I'm like, I am praying that y'all make it. You know what I'm saying? Take some of the pressure off of me.
I'm trying to find me a white woman. If I wasn't already married to a crazy black woman, I would get me a white woman.
A married guy will be out to dinner in Korea with his wife, and he'll see a Korean girl with a non-Korean guy, and he will give him shit and her. I'm like, you're married, you have pussy, what is your problem?
I never even knew really that black women had a problem with white women dating black men, so I saw Jungle Fever, and it devastated me. I was like, there are a whole nation of black women that can't stand me.
Self-hate going on when he can't deal with his sister.
Yeah, but Inez, how would you know? You won't deal with a black man. How would you know?
Oh, no. I do date black men, but I also date Chinese, Latino, Jewish, the full spectrum.
Jungle Fever came out in 1991.
All I'm saying is I know you think I should date black men, but I'm gonna date who I like.
Wesley Snipes in a relationship with a white woman. I would say that was really monumental. That's always one of the films when you have a discussion on interracial relationships is brought up.
She's right.
White! Man, you
He well, he's black. If your father ever found out, I don't know.
She's Italian.
H-bomb,
From Bensonhurst.
nuclear megaton bomb.
Hey, look, this is the 90s. There's nothing wrong with it,
Both of you's got jungle fever.
I was inspired to write Swirling because everywhere I looked around, there were numerous books and articles and news reports about black women's singlehood. I felt like black women weren't really exploring their options completely when it came to looking for a mate. So I wanted black women to know that, hey, you know what? You got more options than perhaps you thought that you did.
My name is Che. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I grew up in a very culturally diverse neighborhood. My first girlfriend in first grade was Puerto Rican, and I just never really thought about race when it comes to who I'm trying to love.
I dated a mixed guy when I was in middle school, and my father's side of the family stopped speaking to me. I broke up with the guy and only dated inside my race, and I didn't start dating outside my race till about I was in my early 20s.
It's black woman, baby. I love my black woman. It's unique, it's cultural.
But when I got to college, I actually saw a black girl that I thought was extremely fine, and I kind of bided my time, put a few hints in there, and finally made my move. And she just looked at me like I was crazy and said, You're white.
Oh no, just some white guys really creep me out. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. Oh.
If I brought a white man home for Christmas, he would probably end up on the table for dinner. No, can't use your comb, don't bring him home.
I really cannot be mad at a black woman who won't date a white guy because of the history of racism, of oppression, of forced slavery, forced rape for centuries, basically. So I really can't be mad at a woman who still feels the stigma of dating a white man.
You know, back in the days, we didn't have a choice. So now I get a choice and I'm exercising my right to exclude myself to black men only.
It's the history of America that creates the wince.
I just read this article with Jill Scott. She just was saying how she loves her black people. You know, just kind of how I am a little bit.
It's difficult when we see that because we struggled together, fought together, went through civil rights together, and still now, and black women are really left alone. So there's this kind of quiet pain. It's quiet, but it's there.
The stunning actress are reportedly hooking up the 29-year-old to spend some quality time together.
One of the hottest couples in Hollywood.
Kanye West proposed to Kim Kardashian.
The media portrays Kim as this blithering idiot.
I made this. It's a macaroni necklace.
And Kanye as this egotistical baby.
Y'all hear that? She just changed the game. Food is jewelry now, huh?
You know, then they gave him the Bound video, which everybody jumped all over.
Kim is white, Kanye's black, and here you're seeing this white woman in this subservient role to a black man. To me, that was just a relationship.
Everything Kanye does is for people to talk about. That video was done especially for that reason.
Honey.
Kanye and Kim are the biggest one. You know, no matter what you're saying about them, the interracial aspect always comes into play in some sort of way. Same with her sister, Khloe Kardashian and Lamar. Crack is a big enough issue with him, but there's still that interracial element. Paula Patton and Robin Thicke. And I've thought about, she's biracial. You know, he's white. Is it really an interracial relationship? But a lot of people see it that way. They look at her as a black woman. I think the same with Halle Berry, Olivier Martinez, and even Gabrielle Aubrey. And she's very clear about, I am a black woman. So, you know, for her, it is an interracial relationship.
One of my favorite actors, I'd have to use Halle Berry as an example. She has had different issues from different men throughout her career or life, but she seems to be the most happiest when she's dating a Caucasian man. I think that she sets an example for women of color that they can actually step outside of the box and date a man of a different race.
The Swirl relationship is on the rise, and I think that everyone needs to raise their eyebrows and open up to it. I mean, look, the mayor of New York is married to a black woman. He has interracial children. Growing up in New York, my favorite interracial couple was Robert De Niro and his wife. Read about them in the papers and the tabloids all throughout, you know, my childhood. The President of the United States, the leader of the free world, the most powerful man on the globe, is a product of an interracial relationship.
I'm the son of a black man from Kenya and a white woman from Kansas. I am married to a black American who carries within her the blood of slaves and slave owners, an inheritance we pass on to our two precious daughters. I have brothers, sisters, nieces, nephews, uncles, and cousins of every race and every hue scattered across 3 continents. And for as long as I live, I will never forget that in no other country on earth is my story even possible.
The media plays a part in everything that's projected in our world.
I think the media portrays interracial relationships in a bad way because they make people not really want to engage in that.
Hollywood is such a focal point, I think, in America and a lot of the world.
The world's moving forward in a certain direction and things are changing. And you gotta respect or get left behind. That's really what it comes down to.
The media has a lot to say, you know, when they see a black man with a white woman. But when it's the opposite way, they don't really say too much.
No difference. They just follow them around because they're celebrities and they're a couple. You know, there's really nothing to color or skin tone or anything like that.
I don't watch the media. I think it's a distraction.
The division between black women and men when it comes to dating, it really just boils down to a lot of deep-seated things historically. We have to look at it and see that there are different things working against us. You know, in the media, we're always going to see different things pitting us against each other. And we have to see past that.
Do I think black men are a sellout because they date white women or outside of their race? Yes, sometimes I do.
My name is Gerald, and I've been dating white girls since high school.
You want what's convenient, and it seems like you're not willing to date a black woman because of all of the stereotypes. You think that we are nagging, not supportive, and you know that we wouldn't support your dreams.
As black men, we want to get loose. You know, we want to step outside of the box. You know, sometimes we want to switch it up, and the black woman is not going to have that.
When black women call me a sellout, I don't feel much like a sellout because at the end of the day, I'm winning. My bills are paid for, I'm happy, I'm getting topped off the way that I'm supposed to. Don't have all the nagging in my ears, so it's quiet at home when I come. My dinner is cooked, my bed is made, my clothes are washed and ironed and pressed. Everything is in place and it's peaceful, and that's the way I like it.
Who you know gonna, cook and take care of the kids and hold you down at the same time, you know? Who you know that's gonna take a bullet for you and shoot the gun, outside of the black woman race?
How I feel when I see a black man with a white woman, it makes my heart melt sometimes because I feel like a lot of times the black men, we want you to consider us because we really understand the struggle where you've come from, and just with you having to work triple time to be recognized in the community.
When I see a black man with Barbie, if he's doing well and he's treating her well, this is the reaction. If he's not, he's thugged out, gold in his mouth, pants around his ankles, this is the reaction.
When I'm out in public and I'm with my girl and who is a white girl, and I get all the side eyes, especially from the sisters. I mean, I'm not really affected by it. I'm used to it. I grew up in an interracial household, so I kind of, I'm numb to it, honestly. And I kind of like walking my white girl in and getting all the looks from the black girls.
It's pure status, I feel. And I know that you can find somebody that you relate to that is the same color as your mother, but I feel like they feel like they've accomplished something if they've gotten a white woman. But on the reverse, when I see a black woman with a white man, it doesn't bother me one bit.
When I see a black woman with a white man, check him out. He even came up. He even got lucky right quick. You dig? Shit, I ain't mad at you. You hear me?
When I'm with a white woman, I don't necessarily think it's a trophy. I think it's my choice. I'm with the person that I want to be with. I'm with the color that I want to be with. I don't see anybody else. If that's my woman, that's my woman.
When a black woman has gone over to the other side and dates a white man, it's because she didn't have any other choices. It's because she gave it her all. It's because she wants to be treated well. She doesn't want to spend the majority of her life waiting to be chosen by a black man who may be dating black women or other black men or maybe black women. Straight like that.
Get rid of the self-hate, the colorism and things like that. Those are the things that continue to divide us and continue to alienate us from one another. And the finger pointing and blaming for just all of our different ails instead of working together as a community.
It's still of a segregation based on in the dating game based on your race, is everybody of alike should stick together. And that, that's not exactly the coolest thing I've ever heard, but it happens in too many different places for it to be not, made aware of.
I think that interracial dating is something that's not going to go away, something that's going to continue, and that if you have an issue with interracial dating, then I think you need to look within yourself and figure out where that deep-seated hatred comes from, because it's not worth it. You need to let it go.
A recent Gallup poll said that 87% of Americans approved of interracial marriage compared to 4% in 1958. It's totally awesome. I'm really grateful for the people who paved the way for me to be able to be married to the man who I'm married to. You think about 50 years ago, the landmark decision by Lovings versus the state of Virginia that legalized interracial marriage in the United States.
I think that marrying who you want to is a right that no man should have anything to do with. It's a God-given right, I think.
Mildred Loving married the boy next door, Richard Loving. Richard Loving is a construction worker, Mildred Loving the daughter of a sharecropper. The Lovings didn't know that it was a crime for a white person to marry a Negro in Virginia. They found out the hard way.
It was about 2 a.m. And I saw this light, you know, and I woke up and it was the policeman standing beside the bed. And he told us to get up, that we was under arrest.
These people refused to divorce. They wanted to stay married. They loved each other. They had children together, and they refused to let the United States tell them that their love was invalid.
The first time we talked on the phone, he asked me, could he pray with me? We literally met and were married within 3 months. And I think we had only seen each other maybe twice. I think it was something that God put together, because here we are almost 15 years later. We've given birth to 5 children together, and adopted one.
We met in law school at Duke.
I thought I would wait a year before I proposed, but I broke that rule and I waited 6 months. And I guess after 6 months, I decided of living with her that she was the one. We were long distance most of our relationship.
I ended up meeting someone that treated me good, and regardless of what color she was, it was a blessing.
We would go out and African American girls would always make comments or things like, you know, why is he dating that white girl? I date primarily out of my race because I've always just been more attracted to, I guess, men of color.
I read an article about an interracial couple who was on a date at a fine restaurant. When they got their keys back from the valet, the ticket was on it and it had a descriptive word of the couple that said jungle fever.
An evening of dining at Spondivits in East Point left this Columbus, Georgia couple thinking about their interracial marriage in a way they had never before.
I have experienced racism at the hands of other Caucasians when they see me with someone of another race.
This note on their valet tag attached to their keychain.
He said, you see what this says? I'm like, what? And I look at it and it says jungle fever.
When a Caucasian person is racist, it seems like they hate a Caucasian person who deals with other races more than they hate the races they're prejudiced against.
I was more disappointed that we're still at that in 2014, that people are still behaving like that.
The relationship itself, I wouldn't say is difficult, but the outside influences, I would say, pose difficulties.
You see the attitudes, or you see the why not me and why her, and it doesn't bother me.
I like seeing people who are, I guess, breaking those types of barriers.
I think segregating yourself to your own culture really holds you back from understanding what the actual world is like.
White families, we have our way of being raised and what we're taught. Same as African American families and Hispanic families. We all are raised a certain way, a different value.
So one of the biggest cultural things I think it's wonderful about dating or being married to a white man.
This is interesting.
Right, is the sense of entitlement. Going to the front of the line and demanding that people fix things for you.
Aren't you gonna put the label on it?
What, white man privilege?
White privilege.
I like I like the sense of white privilege, and and that you have that, and I'm learning to take a little of that on.
I need things to get taken care of that I feel like if I handled it myself, I would get the negative aspect of this being an angry black man. I send my wife in, and she's the nice white woman that can get things done.
Interracial relationships have become a little trendy for some people. It's a lot more mixing than just black and white. You know, a lot of people are just curious about other races and they want to, you know, try it out, and that's how it happens.
The reason why I wrote 8 Reasons to Date a White Man was because I heard so many black women complain about different things about black men, and I figured, well, if you have such a problem with these stereotypical characteristics, why not go date what's considered the polar opposite, which is a white man? I really based it off of conversations with girlfriends and things that I had read around blogs and the internet and just general conversation. White males are more inclined to get married, different behavioral patterns. It all really stemmed from that and things that impact the black community based upon our experiences and what pop culture feeds us.
I have a friend whose grandparents said that she would disown her if she ever dated someone, but she dates them anyway because that's who she likes, that's who she loves.
It's preference of choice, you know? If a black woman comes and I am with her, I will give her the same love that I had given to the other race that I have dated, you know? It's not a separation thing. ignorance of people.
I am in one. My wife is Peruvian, and I'm Australian Irish descent. I don't run into many people who have a problem with it. I guess I'm pretty lucky that way. But if anyone ever made a thing, you know, at dinner or something like that, I'd have to stand up for myself.
I think the younger generation, yes, but some of the ones that have older ideas are still stuck right there.
See, this generation, we really don't care about race like that, like the older generation does.
I just haven't had the opportunity to catch me a nice white girl yet, but boy, when I can, best believe I will.
I'd say the general idea is Black women are not for interracial dating in a big way, or not very supportive of it, and Black men are very pro interracial dating, honestly.
We've got what we call is the scandal effect, where we're seeing more Black women are interacting with non-Black men.
Come back to me. Forgive me. I love you.
There's more interest than ever before with Black women looking to date interracially. Now, people are starting to feel some kind of way about this.
You almost died.
Yes.
Don't do it again.
Okay.
So how long have you been down with it? I've been dating others since I was 6 years old. You know what I mean? Like, I've always been open to it. What the hell you know about dating this? Right, I've been loving boys, honey, since I knew there was a difference between the male and female. Okay, I have. When I first started liking boys, I remember being in elementary school. So maybe like 5 or 6, and that's who was around me. So I liked Brandon, I liked Ricky, I liked Izzy, and they weren't Black. And where I grew up in the suburbs, at that time, most of the children were of other nationalities. What's the difference dating a white man, Hispanic man, and a Black man? I think it's a culture thing, because when I've dated men, like when I dated the guy from Brazil, he was very affectionate, very passionate, very attentive, very loving, not afraid to show public affection, not afraid to say I love you if that's how he felt. I think there is like a freedom that comes from maybe just open. I have dated more Black men that weren't as open, and it may have taken more time. It could be because maybe the way they were raised. You know what I mean? There's so many factors to it. What I have seen and heard and experienced when it comes to dating different nationalities. First of all, I believe it's a culture thing. Different cultures are raised a different way. They're taught a different way about family. Family is more important in certain cultures. Not to say that it's not important in American cultures, but I think that plays a big part in how the men view you when you date men who are from different countries.
I date interracially because, frankly, I don't like choosing. I'm like, why? You know, they all serve a purpose. The white boys I can talk to, the Spanish boys I can fuck, and then my brothers I can take home to daddy. So I'm like, why pick one?
Oh my God, I'm trying to tell you. Come in, darling. You are jumping right in, honey. Speak first.
Hey, lady.
Come in, babe. You look so cute. Come on. Oh, thank you. We've already started that right here. You know she has never dated outside of her nationality?
You never dated outside your nationality?
Ever.
What's happening?
Oh, that was good.
You know what? He messed me up when he was coming in. What's up,
His
man?
fault.
It was
How you doing?
Help me out on this, man. Me and Rob never dated a Black chick.
Rob, why not, man?
Haven't had an opportunity. Sorry.
No opportunity? They're everywhere. I've actually been dating interracially for about 2 years now, 3 years. Growing up in St. Louis, I never even kissed a Black girl or anything. I had a few crushes, actually, on a few different girls. Never actually ended up asking them out or ended up dating any of them.
So how long have you been dating outside your race?
Shoot, probably since I was about 15, 16.
It's not that I don't find them attractive, because I do. I just gotta work through this. But this one right here is putting me on the spot next week.
trying to get you to
so
jump in, honey.
I guess I don't have a choice.
Oh, you talking about the mixer speed dating?
Yeah.
Where you going?
Yes.
She told me I'm going.
She's going. You going.
She didn't tell me it was all that.
So
She's gonna
going.
meet several of them in one night. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So how do you feel when you see a Black man with a white woman?
Oh, I mean, you know, different. No, my biggest problem, and I've had this discussion with them before, they feel like they've won or they have a trophy.
Like they've made it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and it's not
yeah.
even about the love, because at the end of the day, I used to tease one of my friends. I'm like, and she's taking you back just to make her daddy mad. I mean, so I guess it's a trade-off.
So how does it feel when you're in front of their family?
I mean, I've run into the mothers who didn't like me, you know, or who didn't like me because they never liked their sons' daughters, or who didn't like me because I was black. But after a certain amount of time, they warmed up to me, and you know, I showed them, hey, I love your son, I'm going to take care of him, and then they feel comfortable about letting me in their family.
I really enjoy dating a guy that I dated from Slovakia because of the culture. I'm very into different cultures. I like being around people who just grew up different than I did, and especially someone who grew up in a completely different country. In Slovakia, there are not a lot of black people. Like, they don't really see us except on TV. And it wasn't just about the fact that I am in this amazing black woman. We just connected.
I love me some black girls. If I'm with a black girl, black guy, a lot of times is looking like what's going on?
Yeah.
But sometimes I don't know if they're looking because of that or if they're just looking because the chick's so sexy. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to tell the difference. Since I've been dating other cultures and experiencing other races, I've definitely grown as a person a lot. My eyes have opened, seen, you know, different ways of life, different ways of looking at life. And it makes me grow. I'm a more adapted person to the world now.
You ever brought a black girl home to mom's?
I never have brought a black girl home to mom, though. No. I brought a black girl home to my home.
I gotta ask, how is the sex?
Oh, dear God.
Really?
No. We have to tell her, though, because we're reeling her in. No. This is the thing. When women ask me that, I let them know. You have had, if you have only dated black men in your life, you have had some that were horrible. And some that were amazing.
Still
it's
waiting
the
to
same
have
thing. Okay, but it's the same thing. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. All that myth is not true. That's not true about the white man, the black, because you've met black men with small penises, you've met black men with big penises.
You can't even tell it's in there, but.
Right, it's the same thing with the white, the Brazilian, the Latin, the Slovakian, honey, it's the same. Some of them are well endowed and can work it, and you know, everybody is not amazing in that department.
I think there's a lot of sexual differences between the races. I mean, I'm a big hoe, so I'll tell you the differences between everybody. White guys talk way too much during sex. You know, they think they're like the director of their own porn movie. They're like, yeah, go a little lower. And I'm like, stop giving me directions, dude.
Yes, my penis is huge. At least that's what I'm gonna say.
Black guys like to say things like, whose vagina is it? And I say mine. You are simply leasing with an option to buy.
The problem I have with black guys, they don't want to go down on their women. I don't know, maybe the ones that I've encountered, maybe you guys are different, but sometimes they'll act like they're allergic to licking pussy. Can we say that?
White women give head, but you know, I gotta go and get the black girl some love, because black girls an improved head. Black girls that took head to another level.
You're asking me if I've ever dated an Asian man? No, I haven't. I think that Jackie Chan could get it. If anybody knows his number, maybe, yeah, I'm just scared of that stereotype.
All right, I understand like when Asians have sex, we might start yelling out like crazy shit, but at least like white guys, they don't change their tone of voice from when they're reading a book to when they're in bed, you know? They're like, yeah, that feels good. Yeah, let's keep doing that. Yeah, faster, slower, I'm coming. It's like they're so monotone, I can't take it.
I was having sex with another white guy, and right at the moment when he finished, he said, how do you like me now? And I said, less.
I've gone out with every type of guy except for Asian. And I'm like, what I want to do with my vagina is my business. You can't call my vagina racist.
Race shouldn't even be a conversation. You're attracted to the individual.
Black men go outside of their race because they feel that the strong black woman challenges their manhood, or they don't feel like a man in the house
I think that black women need to spend more time with African American men or black men that do date interracially to find out the reasons why they do and get more of a personal perspective on it, rather than assuming that it's the purpose of being a sellout, or that he feels that that individual becomes a trophy wife or better than she possibly could have been to him.
I think black women have lost our culture a little bit. I think they, lost what it really means to be a black woman. And it's nothing against black women.
I think you're about to upset some people.
Well, let me say this.
You about to piss some people off.
It just seems like to me that black women had an entitlement. Like, you're gonna take me out, we're gonna go to the movies, you're gonna spend $50 on a meal. And it was one of the situations like, you digging in my pockets and I don't even know if I like you.
One of the things that I really appreciate culturally about the culture that your family has, they are extremely family oriented and so kind of open and loving and caring. And I don't know, I think, I'm not a religious guy, but I see kind of like the way the church kind of helps keep your familial unit together. If we can say that's black culture, that's awesome. If we can say that's just who your family is, that's awesome as well.
That is funny.
I think so.
Tell me about your family, where you're from.
Listen, the fact that she came, honey, and saw somebody cute and being open, I'm just thankful for that.
Hi, I'm Shonda. Nice to meet you.
Pleasure.
I had a blast. I know you did. Tell me you did.
I did.
I had a great time.
Say it. You did?
Yes. Awesome. Oh my God. I never thought I would be doing it. I'm not turning my back on black, right? But ain't nothing wrong with a little swirl.
Let me ask you this. Have you ever dated a white man?
Kinda. I tried, but I couldn't quite get past the pink.
The pink. The pink ping.
Yes. Ugh. Well, I think when you close yourself off to love, to possibilities, to you don't know what color love is gonna come in. Right? Don't you just want to be treated well? Don't you just want to be nurtured?
I'm black, my baby's gonna be black, their hair gonna be nappy and black like mine, my man gonna be black, we gonna be black, and we gonna have black lives. I was so relieved and happy when I found out about Barack Obama and that we might have this black president and how great of a candidate he was, and then it was married, and I was like, what is his wife gonna, what is his wife gonna look like? I was like, she's gonna be light. And then to see Michelle,
girl,
and she was just,
she's a sister with edges.
Edges.
You know, like I love
she
her.
probably ain't even got no perm, right? Like,
Yeah, I think she probably do a little press.
Little press. It's a press. It's a difference.
Girl, the White House is smelling like press.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Smelling like burnt hair.
I love it.
I
can't get enough of it.
We need to have a barbecue on the South Lawn.
And to think about these little girls just like running through the White House, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're powerful now because
They
they're
are.
unstoppable. There's nothing they can't do.
Yes,
at this point,
exactly. They
right?
can do whatever. I feel like I can do whatever because of that, you know? Just
there you go.
Not with a white man.
Okay, so you drink your drink and let's get out of here.
All right.
To boldly go where no one has gone before.
I found out that the first interracial kiss was on Star Trek. It was between William Shatner and black actress.
Woman, let's get on with it.
My favorite interracial couple is the Zebras. Lived upstairs from George Jefferson.
George is coming, Helen. Well, this is my favorite in-laws.
George would call them all type of honkies and whatnot.
Thank you for coming. Have a seat, make yourselves comfortable.
And it was just beautiful, man. They just dealt with it.
I just want to make sure I'm not dreaming. I've never felt so welcome before.
It's easy to be interracial now. But in the 70s, dog, that's real love.
Your parents have never gotten over the fact that I'm white.
That's because you never got over being white.
Well, I think that these days you're starting to see more television ads with interracial couples, and I think that's fine. And you'll probably start seeing more with same-sex couples as well. We're just moving in that direction, and that's cool by me.
Mom.
Yes, honey?
Dad told me that Cheerios is good for your heart. Is that true?
Says here that Cheerios has whole grain oats that can help remove some cholesterol, and that's heart healthy.
The Cheerios commercial controversy just blew my mind. People were saying things I didn't even think about. Why was the black dad absentee on the couch? Why are you looking for something that's not there? It was smart, I think, of Cheerios to have that type of commercial because it is more reflective of where we are in society today, and that's what it should have been looked at.
I was excited about the Cheerios commercial because we never get recognized as interracial couples, and the little girl is beautiful.
Why does a family have to be all white? Why does a family have to be all black or all one nationality? We're all put on this earth no matter what. We should love anybody. It doesn't matter. It's a commercial.
Some people just like to start stuff, I guess, in a sense. And I was glad that Cheerios didn't take that commercial down because they shouldn't have.
There's still some stigma associated with interracial relationships. And there's still social consequences that, depending on what race you're mixing and mingling with, is a level of social consequences that go along with it.
Recently, I saw Tia and Tamara Mowry on Oprah's Where Are They Now?
People choose to look past love and spew hate.
I thought it was really interesting to see the different struggles that they're having, not just as black women, but also being viewed as biracial black women.
I get called white man's whore. Back in the day, you cost $300, but now you're giving it to him for free.
To also see on the other side, Tia talking about how people tell her that Tamara did it right because she married white.
I get the opposite, actually. Yep, I've had people say that you've done it right by marrying a white man.
I think it shows a level of self-hatred on both sides to think that for someone to marry white is to marry up. That plays completely into stereotypes and completely into what I believe that black people to an extent have been brainwashed to believe.
I'm proud to be in the relationship that I am because it's based on love. Exactly. Pure love. Yeah.
Once I got out of South Central LA, I wanted to have a family that was diverse. I want them to live in a diverse community. I want them to live in a diverse neighborhood, in a diverse state. My kids grow up with I guess you can say, African-American culture, where I don't believe race really plays a factor. If it does, it's underlying. But I don't think that they really understand how much Asian they have in them, because in most of them it doesn't show.
I truly believe that interracial babies are the most beautiful babies. That is. That's not why I had interracial babies, but that is the rumor, and it is so true. All babies are beautiful no matter what. The interracial babies are the most beautiful babies ever.
I think the notion that mixed children are more beautiful than, say, children of same-race couples is sort of a bizarre statement.
We do have a little bit of a disagreement about interracial children. I guess we can talk about this.
We can.
I think that it's kind of wrong and messed up to say that interracial kids are more beautiful because they're interracial, as where he thinks it's a perfectly okay thing to say. I think my children with a black man would be gorgeous and lovely, as would his with a white woman. And so it bothers me when people say, and they say it frequently, oh, you guys would have such beautiful babies because they'd be mixed, and mixed kids are always beautiful, and that pisses me off.
Yes, and it doesn't piss me off, and I think that it's actually really cool that now, instead of mixed kids being seen as something that, some sort of kind of bastardization and outcast from society, that it's something now that people are like, wow, that's the pinnacle of beauty. When you mix two races together, you get something really amazing. And I think that's commendable, and I see it as a kind of change in our society that I like.
You always hear mixed children are some of the most beautiful children. And all of our children, everywhere we go, they're constantly being told how beautiful they are, what a beautiful family we have, how they all look alike, and they're just forever getting complimented. I think if anything, the effect on them is that it kind of goes to their head to some degree.
The additional challenge is raising a son that's mixed, and that's going to be an area that neither one of us have experienced. So being first-time parents of a biracial child, that's going to be a new territory for us.
You know, I still see you as a black woman, right?
Right.
And I think you still see yourself as a black woman, and it's such an important identity for you will always be a black woman. And when people see you walking on the street, that's the first thing that they're going to see about you is you are a black woman. That doesn't sum up your value to me. Lauren equals black woman, but you'll never not be a black woman to me, but you'll always be, yeah, the woman I love no matter what color you are.
Love comes in different colors, different shapes, different forms, and they're all that.
I think it really doesn't have any particular color. It has all colors.
I would say it's every color because everyone, like different colors mix all the time and you get like beautiful colors out of it.
No color at all. I see love looking at you. You know? I see love looking at the tree. So there's no love within it. You know? It's a feeling. It's a chemistry. Maybe all that's the definition of love too. Chemistry, a feeling, a connection.
You know, I like all races, Chinese, Vietnamese, Japanese, you know, I don't discriminate.
I just don't think that there's any color or race associated with love.
Love is the color of your heart. Yeah.
Our love is very colorful.
The color of love is red. I mean, it's you bleed the same.
Love knows no color, you know, black, white, yellow, purple, beige, turquoise. I think deep down inside we're all red because if you really love somebody, you'll be willing to fuck her on her period.
The color of love is clear. It's like water. Each individual person can add their own coloring to the water, and when that's put together, the people there can decide whether that works for them or not.
When you're in love, it's like falling off a cliff and you won't even know you're falling until you hit the ground. The color of love is blinding.
The color of love is like tie-dye.
The color of love is green, as in money.
I'm truly all about chocolates.
I really do think of us as one person. I don't see whiteness, I don't see Jewishness, I don't see any of that.
You know how they say, like, you know, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, to each his own. I think that it just depends on the person on what color they see.
I think you have to get it where you can. You know, I feel like there's enough of a shortage of love, you know, going around, period. If you can find it in somebody black, white, purple, you know, whatever, make it happen.
Just choose character above color. It's really easy.
First of all, if you take my chocolate, you mix with her vanilla, then you get this perfectly blended swirl, and you add a little bit of caramel in the mix. Oh, it's a beautiful sundae, and I just eat it right on up there.
As long as you're happy and you're being treated the way you are supposed to be treated and you are reciprocating that treatment and you love the person, just love them.
Love the package that that person with the great character comes in, regardless of the melanin content. Isn't that what the dream is all about?
You can love whoever you love. You know, in this life you get to, you know, you get to pick. You get to fall for people that look like you, and then sometimes you fall for people that don't look like you. I think that the only people we really need to pay attention to is ugly people. We gotta stop them. Like, they shouldn't be allowed to mate.
That was like a good